Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the November 20th, 2025 meeting of the Jersey City Zoning Board of Adjustment. This meeting is held in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12, the Open Public Meetings Act. I would like to call this meeting to order. Mr. Panjali Nand, would you please take roll call?
Certainly.
Does someone have their phone? Please make sure your phones are off.
Thank you. Vice Chair Arua. Commissioner Allen.
Here.
Commissioner Barron.
Here.
Commissioner D'Angelo.
Here.
Commissioner Patel.
Here.
Commissioner Burns. Here. And Chair Coyle.
Present.
We have 7 in attendance. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Do we have any sunshine announcements at this time?
Yes, we do. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, public notice of this meeting has been sent out to the Bergen Record and El Especialito, as well as posted with the city clerk. I would like to submit this into evidence. There be one.
Okay, thank you. Can everyone please stand for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bridget, can we please swear in any staff?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give this evening will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, is there any correspondence or adjournments that we need to hear about?
No, there are not, Chair Coyle.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to begin this evening with case Z2025-0078, a site plan extension for 32 Glenwood Avenue. Mr. Garlick. Okay.
Ben Lindeman from Murphy, Schiller, and Wilkes on behalf of the applicant,
Okay,
and we're seeking an extension of 1 year for our approvals.
okay.
Yeah?
That's it? You don't have anything reason why? Oh,
I guess, so
we're usually hearing,
well,
like,
the,
One speaker, go ahead, Chair.
we usually hear why you're asking for the extension.
got it. The client purchased the property in December and is ready to pull permits and needs to have the extension in order to get those permits. They can have that wrapped up by May, which is when the 1 year would take them to, ideally.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public to comment on this? Okay. Commissioners, do we have any questions or comments? Okay. Staff, any questions or comments?
Sure, I would just like to confirm with the applicant that they agree to the terms of and conditions of the original approval.
Yes.
And staff recommends approval.
Okay, thank you. Can I, can I get a motion to vote on case number Z2025-0078?
Motion on the floor to approve the extension of the approval from 2023 on case number 720250078.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Vice Chair Arujo.
Yes.
Commissioner Allen.
Yes.
Commissioner Barron.
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo.
Yes.
Commissioner Patel.
Yes.
Commissioner Burns.
Yes.
And Chair Coyle.
Yes,
Motion carries. All in favor.
thank you. Okay, before we continue, I see quite a few people in the public section. I want everyone to know that our last case, we will not begin anything at 10 o'clock in the evening. We will adjourn shortly after that, and any public comments will be for 3 minutes. We won't cut a case off necessarily, but we are not going to entertain any cases that would go later than that time. And tonight, Mr. Allen will time everyone and let you know when you have a minute left when you're speaking. Okay, our next case is going to be case Z2025-0046, 292 Arlington Avenue.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Michael Higgins of Castano Quigley Cherami for the applicant. Some housekeeping first. I have the original notices.
Yes, Mr. Higgins, why don't you just give that to the reporter to mark as A1. So, Mr. Higgins, just so the record is clear, we reviewed your notices, affidavit, proof of service, notice of publication. We're marking that as A1, and we're admitting that into evidence.
Thank you, counsel. So this is 292 Arlington. It's a presently vacant lot, and the proposal tonight is to construct a 3-story residential building. There will be 37 dwelling units, and it's located in the R1 zone. This project is using the affordable housing overlay, so there's an affordable component to that and an affordability plan. It's product of a long history. There have been many conversations with the city with this project and several iterations. But where we are today, we have a few variances required. First is a D1 use variance to permit dwelling units in cellars. There's a variance for the minimum front yard setback and variances for the maximum rooftop appurtenance height, and another one for the maximum rooftop appurtenance coverage. I think as our professionals tonight go through the presentation, you'll see that this is a pretty interesting site that puts these variances in context. Honestly, sites like this, I think, are exactly why there is a zoning board. There's a few very peculiar things about it. First, there's a very, very substantial grade change on this site. Our architect will testify to that, but the difference from one side to the other is something like 16 to 17 feet in elevation. So this condition explains the main variance here, which is the D1 variance for having units in the cellar, which, while it's technically a cellar, because the majority of that floor is below grade, on the side that these units are situated, there's substantial floor to ceiling height, like 16 feet or so, and pretty big windows, a good amount of light and air. The second thing to note about this property, it's uniquely shaped. It has varying width and depth. And then the third thing that makes it interesting is that it's directly across the street from the light rail and very close to a light rail stop. So with that, I have two witnesses, our architect, Dirk Garlick, and our planner, Charles Height. If we could have Dirk sworn in.
Raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Thank you. State and spell your name for the record.
Dirk Garlick, DERK GARLICK.
Thank you.
wish there was an IT class in law school sometimes.
Say that again.
It's right there on the desk. Look at it. Figure that out, you get a
Come on.
degree.
It's loading up here. It should be working.
So while we wait for that, Dirk, you are a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey, correct?
I am.
Your license is current this evening,
It is in good standing.
and it's in good standing. Okay. And you've presented before this board before.
I have, yes.
Does the board,
Yeah, we recognize his expertise,
All right. Thank you, sir.
not in the IT field.
Well, I'll give it a second here. Yeah. Sometimes the easel and the paper are easier. Let's see. Come on. Strange. No, it should be just power.
is it
Hold on a second. It's very weird. I have a backup plan here. Delete draft. I don't know why my laptop's not. When all else fails, use your phone, right? All right.
okay, Dirk, do
There
you
we
mind
go.
walking the board through the plans that you prepared?
Yeah, that's going to be. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. All right. I can't read this off my phone, so I'm going to have to do it up here. But all right. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. The property here at 292 Arlington Street, starting on sheet Z001, explains there's a site plan here that shows the topography of the site. As you can see up on Arlington Avenue, you can see the grade change sloping down towards Randolph, as where the lot is wider and it tapers down to Randolph Street. Across diagonally from the street is the light rail station, and adjacent to it are some 1- and 2-family dwellings that continue down the street to the east. The gross square footage of the building is 49,305 square feet. We're looking at a total count of residential units of 37, and the breakdown of those units are going to be as listed in the chart here. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, and including some studio units. As we mentioned before, there is an affordable housing component where we're providing 3 affordable housing units, and We'll locate those on the plan. As mentioned, particularly of interest about this is the front yard setback. The front yard setback on Arlington Street. Let's go to the site plan. Up in the upper left corner, you can see the building protrudes. The site plan extends, the building extends into the front yard setback, and the adjacent property is set back about 3 to 4 feet, which isn't really indicative of the rest of the buildings along that street, because there are additional buildings that protrude past that point. So what we're really trying to, keeping consistent with the planning guidelines, is providing a front yard area that's close to proximity to the adjacent properties and providing some green space as a buffer to the front of the building. As you can see from this site plan, we butt right up against the light rail right-of-way. That is the, starting from the left and sloping down to the right, you can see that's where the daylight basement occurs, essentially, what we're calling the cellar. This roof plan shows the primary amenity space located at the center of the roof, with the elevator bulkhead almost dead center of the entire roof plane. We've done that intentionally so that we can minimize the impact, the visual impact of the slight variance that we're requesting for the overall height of the building. So one of the variances that we're seeking is for a height variance specific to that elevator bulkhead, because we need that elevator to extend all the way to the roof so that we can provide ADA access to that rooftop amenity space. Another issue with that with the top roof is the roof deck extending off to the right side, and the mechanicals tucked down to the left. There is an acoustic screen that surrounds the mechanical area to help deaden the noise. We've also provided a 42-inch parapet that extends up past the roof to further, deaden any noise or trap noise from expanding, out past the edge of the property. You can also take a look at how the roof deck space is withheld off the edge of the building. So from a visual sightline looking up at the building, it would be, almost impossible to, see any of the railing or see anyone standing up there or anything that's really occurring. So really the de minimis impact of that roof area for the neighborhood would, should be quite, mitigated by that design feature. As we come down this side of the building, you come out of the pedestrian walkway and you walk down along the property out to the sidewalk and extending over to the light rail station. So this is the pedestrian access from the light rail, into that edge of the building. We'll go to the floor plan here, where you can see coming in from Randolph, we have a corridor along the back of the building that extends and slowly ramps up down that hallway and access to those units that are facing the light rail. This is the area particularly, this is the area particularly in the what is being called the cellar that we're requesting the variance for, because there is almost 16 feet difference from the Arlington elevation to the Randolph elevation, and the site drops off. We're able to create, large windows and, features along that light rail side. And then what we've done is we've tucked the refuse area and the bike storage and those additional utilities and equipment rooms in the back side of the building, where they don't require the natural air and light ventilation that is required for the units. So these are units 1 through 5. We go up on the on the first floor on grade, and as you can see, starting from the left side over by unit 11, you come into the building, into a generous lobby. You come in, there's a mail room, lobby, reception area, down further around the hall to the elevator core and the central stair. Sorry, the problem of using my phone here. So these units are laid out again to take advantage of the sight lines to Bergen, to the light rail, and the central corridor down the back. Again, then we go up to the 3rd floor. It's basically a repeat of the 2nd floor with units. Sorry, I'm sure I can shut that off. Units 1 through 23 here. Let's go up to the 3rd floor. And yep. Again, let's go all the way up to the roof, and we'll take a look at the amenity space. Again, the elevator is extending to the roof to provide ADA access, and there's one shared bathroom, a small janitor's closet, amenity space, elevator lobby, and then access out to the common roof terrace, and access then servicing the mechanical equipment. Again, there's a nice mechanical screen specific around the mechanical area, and then again the elevated parapet that's shown in gray surrounding the rest of the building. Getting to the building elevations. These elevations have evolved from a lot of meetings that specifically talked about the neighborhood's desire to have kind of a townhouse feel to this facade elevation. They asked us to use brick. There was comments to use double hung windows. There were requests to use horizontal siding and provide some cornice details. And so we've incorporated those into other iterations that came before this one, and we've held on to those same design principles through all of the different proposals that we've brought to the neighborhood association. So it's important just to understand that the architecture that we've put forth is the result of a lot of correspondence between all parties involved. Yeah. This is the elevation along the light rail. Another important issue to us was making sure that the building didn't just look like the side of a vinyl siding building from the public right-of-way. So it has a nice aesthetic appearance from the light rail as you're passing up and down that corridor. So carrying that brick facade around on the 2nd floor and bringing it through the elevation and mixing in some ACM panel between the spandrels, and then continuing the horizontal siding along the top floor helps divide the mass of the building and keeps that consistent aesthetic principles from the front facade, wrapping it to the backside around Randolph. Again, we've utilized, there are big windows in these units. We've kept the double hung windows with the divided lights, and really tried to keep a historic character to the building. Along with, there are often times where they just design on the front facade, that the cornice on the primary facade. But given that we felt strongly that this would have a presence along the light rail, we've all agreed to extend that cornice down the full length of the building and wrap it around, all three sides. So it really has, it really feels like it's has a nice presence from three primary facades. The last one, which is kind of difficult to kind of take in, but it's because the building is set so far back on the site. There is 3 stories plus then the basement, which gives it kind of a taller appearance here, but it is set back. It doesn't come right up to the street or the sidewalk line, and there was some work on this side of the facade to make it look like it wasn't just the back of the building, because this is the primary entrance for most of the pedestrians that are walking from the light rail. So having a building that had a residential entrance on both street facades and accessing through both sides of the building to a central elevator core was a challenge. And getting that to work and getting both facades to have a pleasant sense of arrival was important to us. The last elevation, which is the shared elevation with the adjacent properties, is a vinyl siding along with a large bank of fenestration, large windows, again double hung with divided lights. I think maybe I'm going to pick one that kind of best explains the grade change here and the elevator and kind of what's happening on the site. Starting on the left side of the building at Arlington, you can see in the gray at grade level, there's a 3-story structure going up to the roof cornice and the parapet, and then over to the mechanical room, and then the elevator shaft. And you can see that small section that protrudes up past that dashed line is the section that we're asking for variance relief. It's just a small part of the elevator bulkhead that protrudes into that upper limit. And then back down to grade and traveling down towards Randolph, you see the elevator core drops down, and then you see that the basement level, which essentially is a cellar in this case because it's more than 50% below grade on the back side of it, is almost 16 feet tall, and 14 in some and 16 feet in others. So those ground floor, those basement floor, cellar floor, basement, daylight basement, floor level apartments are going to have, really, fantastic vaulted ceilings, big windows, and, it'll be a great use of that space versus just a mechanical, component. And then just some renderings to take a look of how the building's going to look from the streetscape. Again, utilizing reddish red toned brick with light ivory colored hardy plank siding, decorative cornice along all 3 sides. Small amount of.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Can we ask the audience that you have to be quiet? I really need to listen. Okay, if you want to talk, maybe just go outside. Sorry. Red tone brick with light ivory colored hardy plank siding, decorative cornice along all 3 sides.
Excellent. And then the use of the ACM, the spandrel glass between the double hung windows, again with the all going back to details that were requested of us, from the neighborhood association. I think that's
Does that conclude
Kind of a-
your direct testimony?
it. Does.
Okay.
We will hold questions to the end, but could you scroll back to the very beginning where you had pictures of the neighborhood of what's existing on Arlington Avenue at this time? Okay, and then you have other photos. This is 1, 2, 3. I think you had 4, 5. Can we see that? Okay, I don't see many brick buildings in these photos. Do you have any?
Well, there is a new brick building across, that's located directly across the way here. This is an older photo, but that building has been built since with a brick banding. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll hold questions till the end. I just want to see the photos of the neighborhood.
No
Thank you.
Okay, so my second witness is Charles Height, professional planner.
Leave it there. Is that yours? Yeah, it's mine. Oh, you can take it.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state and spell your name for the record.
Yes, Charles Height, last name is spelled Heydt.
Charles, you're a licensed planner. Your license is current and you've presented before this board many times, correct?
Yes, with the firm Dresner Robin. So it's a pleasure to be back before this board. License is still in good standing.
Good. We recognize his expertise. Thank you.
So we do have an interesting proposal for the board, and I say interesting really because of the aspects of the property that I do think fall into some of the considerations from a design standpoint, which is the basis of what I would offer to the board. As you heard from the project architect, we are requesting a D1 use variance. It's for a component of the overall application, not the nature of a multifamily home, but really where some of the units are located on the cellar level. But we did want to recognize it as a use variance. This board is aware that to grant a use variance, you either have to be an inherently beneficial use or you have to meet the particular suitability standards. I would offer the latter, that there are particular aspects of this property that would lend itself to proposing the overall development as well as the cellar level residential units. So just to run through a couple of the factual aspects of the property, it's unique in the sense that for several reasons. One, that it's a through lot that's adjacent to the light rail right of way. It's also approximately 16,000 square feet, which is a little over a third of an acre. So it's substantially sized when compared to the traditional R1 zoning standards. We also are a through lot that has 119 feet along Arlington, which is primary frontage, and then a smaller amount along Randolph, which is about 21 feet. So it's tapered in size. As you heard earlier, there's a substantial topography on the site. It slopes from Arlington town to Randolph, where Randolph is the landing pad and at the footsteps of the light rail stop. The topography, I would say, is probably the driving factor in terms of particular suitability. In the Jersey City zoning ordinance, it defines the difference between a basement and a cellar. So there is a technical definition, and it's a calculation of area of that level that is subgrade compared to the topography around it. So we went through that process. We coordinated with the Division of City Planning, and we did confirm that that is a cellar level based on that definition. It's not a basement. The difference is in basements, you're permitted residential units because you're 50% above that finished, that grade of the property. In this case, we're majority below 50%, so it's technically a cellar. Where the cellar level units are located are essentially at the lower end along Randolph, which actually do meet all of the building code requirements for legal light and air, full windows, full egress windows, and in practical reality, without knowing the definition, you would not think otherwise that it's a cellar for where these units are located.
So I think that's an important aspect in terms of the particular suitability. We wouldn't want to, the main reason why we avoid proposing residential dwelling units in the cellar is for fire and flood safety concerns, because typically they're lower grade. If a flood occurs, you might have a lower window where floodwaters might enter it through the window, which is not a good scenario. Especially in fire, sometimes there's an issue with cellar dwellings and not having enough suitable fire escape. That's not the case with these units. So for those reasons, I do think there are particular aspects, not only from the property, but how the project has been designed for these specific units on the cellar floor to have the full complement of what would be a first story in terms of the appearance along Randolph. Moving into some of the bulk requirements, we do have 3 bulk variances that are being requested, 1 with front yard setbacks and 2 with the rooftop elements. The front yard setback requirement in the R1 is to match the existing standard. When we did take a look at that, a lot of the front yard setbacks are regulated for the 2-story, 3-story homes, which have a shorter front yard setback. Typically, it's either 0 to 10 feet. In this case, we are proposing setbacks that vary along the 2 frontages between 6 and 29.5 feet. Part of the reason for the extended setback on Randolph is because it tapers to 21 feet. Instead of inching the building closer and closer and narrowing that frontage of the proposed structure, we held a greater setback to just allow a natural footprint to end. What this also allowed us to do is to create a little bit more relief from the proposed multifamily structure along the 2 frontages and also incorporate extensive landscaping. So we were able to achieve 90% front yard landscaping. I think the standard's 60%. So we're in excess of that, and I do think that is a good use of space. So again, the test for setbacks are typically where the benefits outweigh the detriments. And in this case, allowing for a little bit more light and air, a little bit more relief from that street frontage, and the additional landscaping, in my opinion, does meet that threshold. With respect to the rooftop elements, as we heard from the project architect, we are requesting the rooftop height of 15.5 feet for the elevator bulkhead. A building of this height is only permitted a maximum of 10 feet. So regardless of the type of use or whatnot, it's only permitted 10 feet. To accommodate an ADA accessible elevator, which allows for that common rooftop, we are requesting the additional 5.5 feet. So part of the rationale is we favored a lot of the rooftop structures along the Arlington Ave. That's the frontage where we have the majority, 119 feet width. We also have a substantial setback from the building facade of 25 feet. So in other words, the setback is more than adequate to accommodate the proposed added height. And from the street level, I think it would be mitigated given that setback of where the elevator core is. I do also think there's a substantial benefit in providing the ADA access to the common rooftop. It's a very beneficial aspect to have local outdoor space that's shared amongst all the residents or future residents. And then lastly, this is one of the nuanced requirements in terms of regulating the rooftop design. You're permitted a maximum of 20% enclosed appurtenance space. So we have the enclosed rooftop amenity space that includes the elevator and staircase bulkhead. We have also the mechanical equipment that gets counted in that. In our statement of principal points, it did provide a breakdown if anyone wants to go through that. But ultimately, the variance is for 20% permitted, we're at 21%. Part of what we believe is to not compromise the amenity plan, but to allow for an additional mechanical area that's right-sized for central HVAC system. It was an alternate decision between PTAC units and HVAC system, and we're requesting a relief because the proposal does include what I would say is a more efficient system in terms of providing HVA system. We just need additional mechanical square footage on the rooftop to do so. So that's the 21%. Could say it's de minimis, being 1% over, but I think there's a particular reason in this case that's warranted to offer. Other aspects generally as this project in terms of positive attributes and really meeting some general standards in the state of New Jersey. I do think we further purposes of the MLUL. That would also lead to special reasons that the board should consider. Purpose A, to guide appropriate development throughout the state of New Jersey. We're an appropriate use, and given the conditions of the property, the topography, the size, the taper, the irregular, and the through lot nature, I do think what's being designed for this property is really tailored and unique. So I do think we're guiding an appropriate development here. We are also proposing an establishment of appropriate population densities. This application does locate a higher amount of density of units because it's a larger property, but also at the footsteps of mass transit. So in planning, that's really hitting a home run, if you will. I think we're beyond baseball season, but it's checking off a lot of sustainable aspects. So I do think we're addressing that. And then purpose I, to promote a desirable visual environment through creative design techniques. Again, working with the topography of the property, the fact that it's a through lot. We did hear a nice summary of all the elements of the proposed facades that are being worked in. And mainly along Arlington, I do think we've broken up the facade because that's our longest width, 119 feet. We've broken it up with vertical and horizontal elements. So I think that's respectful of the kind of community around it. I can confirm for the board chair, the new apartment building that's just across on Randolph, just across the pass track, is a fully brick building. So I know you asked for some photos, but I do think we took that into consideration in a lot of what we were modeling with the design. So hopefully that helps in terms of consistency. Switching gears to the negative criteria, there's two prongs. This board's heard me walk through these before. With respect to no substantial detriment to the general welfare, again, I think we're a consistent use being residential. It's a sufficient size property to locate a multifamily use. We are also making substantial improvements to the streetscape. It's a new sidewalk, street trees. This property is vacant today. It's overgrown trees and hedges. So I think making the improvements, proposing the development is definitely in advancement of the general welfare. With respect to the second prong and more of the master plan and zoning ordinance requirements, again, we really have a small package of relief needed. The cellar units, I think, is appropriate. It doesn't impair the intent of that provision, in my opinion, because of where those units are located. It's more of a technicality in terms of calculations, but those units are afforded all of the other design aspects of the units on the upper floors. The R1 has a purpose of providing high-quality, diverse housing types in all neighborhoods that will accommodate the needs for all types of residents. That's this application in a nutshell. I do think it's a complement to the neighborhood. It's in the right location. I do also think that it's consistent with the master plan to provide for available housing that is balanced for residents, to enhance residential neighborhoods. Again, this is in a residential infill development application in a residential neighborhood. And I think that really concludes my testimony. Hopefully, I addressed many of the facts that the board can consider for the variances. Don't know if there are any questions or if you had questions.
So that does.
We'll hold our questions till the end.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, at this time, I will ask if there is anyone from the public who would like to make any comments or remarks regarding Arlington Avenue. Please come to the mic.
whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And your full name, spell it, and address.
Alexander Perkins, Alexanderperkins, 130 Randolph Avenue. Good evening. Thank you for the time. I live about a block from this site and walk past both sides of it on Arlington and Randolph nearly every day. I completely support this project as proposed. The requested variances seem minor and perfectly reasonable for making the plan work on what sounds like a difficult site. The applicant previously presented the plans at a community meeting and helpfully walked us through all the issues they faced with the lot shape and slope. I think they had an explanation for every question and suggestion that we raised. The height is not out of place, comparable to buildings within sight of it just down the street and others close by on Arlington and Clerk, some of which are even taller, also brick, by the way. It won't be much higher than the 40-foot structure I understand is planned for 219 Randolph next door, and there's already a 5-story, 100-something unit building right behind me on Garfield. These 37 homes will fit right in, and the influx of residents will make the station area feel safer and vitalized. I'm especially glad to see that it has no car parking, since this means it can have more units while staying in appropriate height. Every additional unit reduces the pressure on housing prices, and there are far too many cars here already. We don't need to invite people to bring more when they have alternatives. The building will practically sit on top of the light rail. There are multiple bus lines a quick walk away, including some new stops just the last few months. And new city bike docks just came online, an even shorter walk in each direction. This is the exact kind of project the zoning changes were intended to produce to help address our housing crisis while alleviating our traffic woes. I actually chose to move to this area 15 years ago because I didn't need a car here, and I'm confident many will make the same decision if given the opportunity. As a future neighbor to these 37 households, I enthusiastically support this application and hope it gets approved so this lot that has been vacant for decades can be made into housing our community desperately needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other person from the public would like to comment on this project? I don't think you were here when I announced that you have 3 minutes. Okay.
Hey there.
Raise your hand.
Sure.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Your name, spell it, and address.
Sure. Christopher Perez, Perez, 69 Union Street. Good evening, board. The Sherwood Claremont Neighborhood Association has been working with the developer of this proposed project since 2015. I speak before you tonight with wrinkles and grays that I did not have when this journey started. At the first community meeting, we were told this project was a done deal. Yet when we went before zoning, they allowed our voices to be heard, and the board suggested that the developer work with us, and that's just what we did. We were reasonable. The site was originally 2 lots that the developer decided to consolidate, one fronting Arlington and one on Randolph. The consolidated square footage would have accommodated about 12 units over 6 two-family homes. Despite that, the community was open to the idea of additional density, which was very progressive for the time. We are not NIMBYs, and we're up for adding housing. We understand that it helps with affordability. The developer and community came together on agreement with the zoning board in 2016 for a 31-unit building with 30 parking spaces. We supported this with several caveats, that on the Randolph frontage it would face as 3 stories and have a step down from the Arlington to the Randolph frontage. We also asked to preserve the driveway at 219 Randolph Avenue. We asked for parking as much as possible, and we asked for the setbacks to honor the zoning in our neighborhood. Years went by after that approval, and in 2021, the developer reached out explaining they couldn't build that approved plan. So we worked over the course of several years on another revision of a 30-unit building with 29 parking spaces. A couple of years went by, and then we heard from them again earlier this year. We had a community meeting with about 23 attendees on June 17th, and they presented their building with now units in the cellar and a 4th floor on Randolph, with rooftop amenities. The majority of the community was against this. They asked that the basement units or cellar units be removed,
1 minute
that
remaining.
the 4th floor on Randolph be removed, that some parking be incorporated, and that the driveway at 2019 Randolph be preserved. These were what we agreed to back in 2016 in that approval. At the conclusion of that meeting, the lawyers said that they would get back to us on our feedback. They never did. They never responded to our follow-up emails. We even had the council person reach out to them to follow up. We've been ghosted. All of a sudden, our years of good communication and working together seem to have vanished.
30 seconds.
The planning office recently updated the zoning to accommodate more housing. This lot would accommodate about 30 units, and that's what we propose. We're asking to have the 4th floor removed on Randolph. We're asking for the units in the cellar to be removed. And we're asking you to understand that our light rail station is not in the middle of a main street or a main avenue. It's in the middle of a community of 1 and 2 family homes. We're looking for a project that brings
That's
density,
Tom.
but is also sensitive to the context of our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the community who would like to make comments? Okay.
I swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
And state your spelling for me.
Leela Blanche, Leela Blachage. Blachche. I'm sorry. Che. I'm getting over the flu.
C-H-E?
Yes.
Thank you. And your address?
219 Randolph Avenue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm Leela Blanche. I live right next to this proposed project. We're not against creating new housing. We know that we need housing. The plans brought to us back in 2016, the entire neighborhood agreed with it, and they adjusted to the proposals that we put forward to them, including our driveway. Now, that driveway, it is infringing 3.66 feet onto that property, onto the their property. However, it's been there since 1960s when that house was built, and they told us that they were going to leave it as is and just give us that extra space, because taking that away is going to take away 3 additional parking spots that we use. With the idea of the building being right next to the light rail station and people don't need cars is not at all true, because their sister building that was built recently, there's only 2 people that park in that garage. I drive there every day. The majority of people park on the street. Even the people that come to work there, the maintenance crew and whoever else, currently park on the empty lot that this building is proposed to be built on. If you drive past there anytime during the day, you will see at least 5 vehicles parked there. There's absolutely no parking and no room for anyone else to park. And to propose a building this big with 0 parking in our tiny neighborhood, it's preposterous.
1 minute remaining.
Yeah, so we're requesting that the basement units be removed and as much parking as possible could be put in there, as well as the top 3 apartments on the top floors. And we just did a whole big revamp of the zoning, and asking for this much variance when the zoning was made to like help
30 seconds.
this whole situation with helping with the housing. I think it's just too much. You shouldn't need 4 variances on top of the whole big master plan that was just redone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the community?
Good evening.
Good
My name is
evening.
Keisha Pate. I'm sorry.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And state spell your full name, your address.
My name is Keisha, Kiesha, Pate, Pate, 222 Arlington Avenue, Jersey City. As previously stated, we're not completely against them putting a building there, but on paper, it sounds good that they're creating it near a light rail with no parking. But the reality is we're already struggling for parking currently. To add 37 more units and to think that nobody is going to come with a car is unrealistic. I'm not asking you to completely get rid of them, their plan. I'm just asking that you have them come back to us because we've been in communication with them since 2015. All of a sudden now they don't want to communicate with us anymore, and they've come up with this plan that has definitely changed from what we last discussed. If they could just come back to us, and then we'll all come back to you in agreement on something else. Because although most of us haven't come tonight, we've been having side meetings just so that we can make sure that we don't come in with an attitude when we talk to them, that we come in with realistic expectations. And that's all we're asking, is that you guys consider, the variance has already been changed to accommodate new constructions. We just ask that they have to have a conversation with us and be considerate of our neighborhood and what is already there, which is mostly two-family homes that have been there for forever. That's all we ask. We don't want to be unreasonable. We just want to continue to open communication, come up with something that we can all be satisfied with, so to speak, because nobody's going to end happy, completely happy, but we can meet in the middle, and that's what we've been trying to do. Not sure why they stopped communicating with us, but I ask that you ask them to come back to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your full name, spell it, and address.
Denise Devlin, Denise, Devlin. I'm at 305 Arlington. First of all, I'd like to say that many of us are pleased that there is more housing being built, particularly affordable housing. But there is a way to do this that I think makes the community happier. You know, clearly years have gone into trying to come up with a compromise. The community thought it had one. I was on the last call in June. We heard nothing back. And all of the things that we were brought up at that meeting are not in any way reflected in this plan. And I don't understand how they can be asking for variances, which is, you know, we want to take up more space, more height, et cetera, and not be willing to really give what the community wants, which is some amount of parking and the problem of the height on from Arlington. So I would just ask that the variances not be granted unless they're willing to really come up with some kind of compromise and you know, in good faith, because I think that's been violated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else making any comments on Arlington? Okay, if not, I will close the public portion. Excuse me. I will close the public portion of this meeting.
Yes, Madam Chair, I would request the opportunity to respond to some of those comments.
I
if
think
now
we
is
have
a
to have
good
our
time.
comments first. We have to have our commissioners are going to have, I just closed the public portion, okay? Okay, commissioners, do we have any comments?
I have a couple of
So
questions.
do I, yeah.
Yeah. Those are those units that you're doing on the cellar. How many units are there?
We may need to call the architect back up to answer that question. It's, I think,
We have 5 units in the basement.
5 units. Are those units right next to heating units or air conditioning units or anything of the sorts?
No, no, all the rooftop condensing units are up on the roof itself.
Okay.
These are at grade, facing out towards the right-of-way, facing the light rail.
So just a question. What made you change to put units in there instead of having the parking that apparently it was agreed upon with the residents?
Yeah, it's important to understand that from the time that original application was being formulated, the zoning had changed. And there's no longer a requirement to put parking in a development on this site.
Yeah,
That's,
I may be able to
yeah.
speak towards the intent there and with the, how this functions under the newer zoning, if you'd like me to go through that now.
I'm familiar with it, unfortunately, yeah.
So we heard a number of concerns related to parking here. Under the new zoning, when we're using the affordable housing overlay, in this case, we have an affordability plan, and there's 4 total affordable units currently, a mix of studio unit, 1 bedroom, and 1 3-bedroom. A studio, a 1-bedroom, and a 3-bedroom unit. 4 units total. So when you enter into that 10% affordability, there's no need to provide parking. It's how the current ordinance functions, so there's no parking variance here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So I have a question, I guess a couple of questions. Mr. Height kept talking about with the need for the 5 feet, and we have to do the 5 feet, and promoting, accommodations for ADA. How many apartments are available or set up for ADA accommodations? And my question is, without parking, where are these people with disabilities, especially if they have difficulty walking or moving at some sort? And with the problem of the parking, why would you take parking away knowing that some of these people may not be able to park at all? And you didn't discuss it with I'd like to know why you didn't have these discussions with the residents of the neighborhood.
Yeah, so I think maybe it'll be a good point for me to just respond to some of the comments. So the first were comments from Mr. Perez. The statement.
I'm
is
sorry,
that-
they were what? I didn't hear what you said.
Comments from Mr. Perez initially. I think the first member of the public that commented that we've ghosted and that the attorneys ghosted the community. That's simply not true. There have been meetings, multiple meetings predating my involvement in this project, predating how long I've been an attorney, honestly, since 2015. Many meetings, many iterations of this project, and many revisions. This is the most recent one. It's not true that anyone's been ghosted or that there haven't been discussions.
When was the last meeting with the community? We know about the 2015 and 2016 because they said that. But so when was the last meeting with the community to discuss the plans for this building?
Summer, June. I might not have the exact date, but it was like June 14th or something of this.
Of this year?
This year.
And was this in there, that there was no parking and that it was changed?
This was presented in one form. I'd have to look back, but it was presented, but it's not this final version.
It's not the final version without the parking.
No, it was presented without the parking, but not the final version that we have today.
Okay.
Yeah, so then, I think the next thing I'd like to say regarding parking, firstly, using the affordable housing overlay and with those bonuses, there simply isn't a parking variance. We do believe that this is a site that's appropriate to have a parking variance, even though there isn't one, being that it's so close to the light rail. It's very easy to get onto public transit. It's a short walk, roughly, I think, 1 block. Does that sound correct, Dirk? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think another important thing to note over here is that, and I may need to confirm this with planning staff, but a building of this size, I don't think would be able to have street parking permits. I believe that's prohibited in the ordinance.
Sorry, just to reiterate, could the architect restate the width of the lot?
It's a trapezoidal lot, so to state the width, I would have to give you several different site dimensions, which I'm happy to do.
Oh, sorry. If you were referring to residential parking permits, then yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so that is the case, that there wouldn't be residential parking permits here. With the situation of it so close to the light rail, we do think that's appropriate. We do think that's appropriate.
Are there other commissioners that have questions regarding this? Go ahead, Mr. Al.
So the chairwoman asked the two questions that I was going to ask. So the third question would be, is there ADA access to the light rail from the, from the Randolph side, from Randolph to the front of the building, or from Randolph to the back of the building?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that light rail station have a parking lot?
No.
Okay. And what about the one woman spoke about her driveway and getting into that?
Yeah, so that's certainly a discussion that it sounds like the intent there is to use a portion of the applicant's property for parking in a driveway. That's certainly a discussion that can be had between the property owners outside. I don't frankly think that it's the appropriate place to have that discussion before the board, but it's certainly a discussion that property owners can have.
Okay.
I have not seen any legal right to use that property mentioned or any evidence of such.
Any other questions from the board members? Okay, can we hear from staff?
Yes, certainly, Chair Coyle. So just to reiterate, the lack of parking for this project is not amongst the variances in consideration in front of the board today, because they are utilizing the affordable housing overlay by providing at least 10% affordable housing units. They provide 4. There are 37 proposed units, so they exceed that 10%. And looking at the in reviewing the project, it appears to comply with the development standards set out in the R1 section of the code. The bulk and mass of the project is consistent with the neighborhood. The design is consistent with the neighborhood. It provides brick. There's hardy plank in the neighborhood. Sorry, there is brick and hardy plank in a number of residential structures along Arlington Avenue. And looking at the other bulk variances, the front yard setback, there are a number of residential properties, particularly to the north of this property, that has about the 6 feet that is being proposed. So there is consistency there. And in terms of the maximum rooftop appurtenance height and the maximum rooftop appurtenance coverage, it appears that there is no substantial detriment to public health and safety. In terms of the dwellings units in the cellar, in reviewing the project, it appears that those 5 basement units have adequate light and air provided, and as well as egress and access to landscaping right to the south. To there's landscaped open space to the south. And yeah, I mean, in reviewing the project, it does seem to advance the goals of the master plan and land development ordinance. And yeah, I mean, and as part of my comment, I also would like to confirm with the applicant whether they agree to the 7 recommended conditions laid out in the staff memo.
We do.
Okay, and yeah, that sums
Can
it
you
up.
share the 7 recommendations with us?
Yes, certainly. The first is all materials and colors shall be shown on the final plans. No change to the facade, site design, including materials, as well as any changes that may be required by the Office of Construction Code shall be permitted without consultation with and approval by planning staff. The second is all testimony given by the applicant and their expert witnesses in accordance with this application shall be binding. The third is all street trees, landscaping shall be installed in accordance with Section 345-66 of the city's forestry standards prior to an issuance of a certificate of occupancy. The fourth is the applicant shall enter into an affordable housing agreement with the city in a form approved by the city prior to any certificate of occupancy. issuance. The fifth is the applicant must comply with all conditions stated in the AHO checklist. The sixth is the applicant must comply with the requirements of Chapter 188, which is the housing accommodations and affordable housing compliance. And lastly, the applicant shall provide an affidavit from the architect of record representing that everything is consistent with final approved plans. This affidavit should also speak to the confirmation that the green roof was installed at the same size or larger presented for approval.
That's all fine.
Thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners before we move to vote? Okay.
No.
I do have one that I don't think was answered, maybe it was, but I missed it. When I said that Mr. Height kept talking about you needed the 5 feet for the rooftop, the elevator, for the ADA accommodations, I did ask how many units in the building have been designed for ADA accessibility.
All of them have type A adaptability, so ADA is designed for adaptability through all the units, and I believe, I should double check, it's might be 2 units that are made specific with the grab bars and the full ADA accessibility designed into the structure.
Okay.
So one more question, Madam Chair.
ahead.
So all of the kitchens will have just standard cabinets, not ADA sinks and any of that?
Yeah, so with the type A unit, everything gets built so that it's adaptable. So if somebody moves in with minimal construction technique, as they say, a counter can be lowered, or
Okay.
a cabinet can be removed to pull a wheelchair into, or the blocking is in the wall in the bathroom
Okay.
so that the grab bars can be attached. There's a method in the type A
Yes. Okay.
design type.
All right, thank you.
Okay, no other questions? Okay, at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to vote on case Z2025-0046.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case Z2025-0046 as presented to the board this evening with conditions.
With conditions. Can I get a
Second.
second? Okay,
Second.
Vice Chair Rujo,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
No.
and Chair Coyle.
no.
Motion carries 5-2.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can we take a stretch break?
Okay, at this time, we are going to hear case Z2024-0001, 48 Central Avenue.
That's the big one.
Yeah. Can we take a-
Okay, I'm sorry, yes, Bridget. We need a little bit of a break, so it is approximately 7:20, so you need about 15 minutes, Bridget, 7:35? Okay, 7:35, 15-minute break.
Thank you. We're in sync. I'm like, I need to stretch my legs. I can't. Yeah, for you especially, even worse. But I can't sit still that long because then my lower back starts tightening up. I can't imagine having to sit still and hyper focus.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
that's why.
it's a lot. Yeah. What time is it? That works out pretty good. Yeah, so like an hour and a half. That's like a
They
good
just
time
come in and
for
put,
break.
yeah, they just come in and put 4 units and then that's it, you got it, you know what I'm saying? That,
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Put it on a scale. What is more beneficial to
Right.
the society, to the neighborhood,
Right.
parking,
Right.
without a doubt.
And where does this height and all the others live that keep saying, I don't see anything wrong with this?
And what is it, can I ask you, what is it? What is the definition? I know, they should have never changed the ordinance.
Exactly right. They should have never changed the plan to
What
the
is the
community.
definition of affordable housing?
Excuse me, they never should have.
It's not affordable.
They should
Not
have never
affordable to anybody,
changed.
but it's not affordable to anybody except people that have a lot of money.
But what is affordable housing?
Right.
Tell me.
They keep saying it, affordable housing.
What is it, what is the percentage of
Affordable houses are all the people from New York that can afford to rent
Nobody
it.
has the answer to that. They talk a lot of shit.
Yes, they do. Well, good, I'm glad you're fired up, because I can't stand it half the time I'm sitting here. I mean, come on, they changed it.
I had the church come after me.
All that means is that they paid to have it certified. So,
You know, I lost 40% of my
but it's not sufficient. It's not like, oh, we noticed it, we must have heard. You know, we never told them they
Let me go to the ladies' room before.
I was in Trenton.
They're not being heard.
Is that what this means?
Going through the hallways,
Or
grabbing people and talking to them, and I tell you, you know what how many people, oh, it was overwhelming. It was so overwhelming.
Right.
And Chatterelli, my boy, he helped me so much with that. He did, he wrote it up. Along with one of his colleagues, a Democrat from the two very fine gentlemen.
Certified, a lot of people aren't.
I hate this.
So too.
Living in this city, what are we gonna end up?
Right, right. You know what, every time I walk out of my apartment now, I'm now moving over to Port Liberté, over where John is. Yeah.
No, it's all good. I'm surprised they've never.
That's it. Well, I think we should.
He said to me, no, wow.
Okay, so
Right down the street to the Hudson.
Yeah. Okay, all of us, a whole bunch of us.
I find it very bizarre that we would have
I bet you would.
political with this project.
Let me tell you something. They said in 32 school, not 32 school, in regional day school, we have the most deformed kids and so challenged. I mean, you have never seen kids like this. It's like 23-year-olds bigger than you that have to be brought to a bathroom and have their diaper changed because they don't even know how to do that. They've set up in this school a store to train them how to just at least work for Yes. They hired some of these kids for just to show them how to wash the dishes. So they paid them and they've employed them. So when they came forward, like, was I thrilled with all this stuff going on? No, but you know what?
You didn't elaborate that at that point with me as to what,
No, not the
I did it at the end. I said at the end.
You said you wanted to say thank you to Jeannie for something.
Yeah. You cannot believe what they did and how much they give to these kids that are just, and the parents are beside themselves. Like they'll send a car to pick up kids to go someplace.
Before, if you're a developer and you want to buy property, you want to
You know what? You had these jerk-offs downtown that are busting their balls now with this.
Would you say
Once that hotel is built, it's gonna be a boon to them. Their property values are gonna go up. They're gonna be one of the best neighbors. They never.
I mean, it is an adaptive reuse for that, especially if it's compliant, going through historic, it's compliant with everything. Like often if historic houses or something.
Yes, yes.
Zoning will defer to historic there because it's the service of historic.
He's very, Monica, yes. You know what they're doing to us down there. This is disgusting what's happening. So anyways, Jeannie,
It's historic or it's really good historic.
they had a contract that they negotiated with Condo One a long time before this board of directors became
absolutely.
made their life hell. He went out in the cul-de-sac there, he put out no parking, fire zone, fire zone, fire zone. without any permission, nothing, you know, just to screw them over. He had a, when you came down past the ball fields there, he had one of those signs like you would do on a construction site. Only residents past this permit to screw them over. It's too bad. We had sworn so many times on this, but they couldn't do anything because it's a contract.
Right.
Cost them over $200,000.
Oh, my God.
This guy wanted to know somebody, because he's asking for the board, don't look past anything, they look at money, right?
Yeah.
So he wanted to propose him to be a member of the board. And we're gonna vote for him. I said, no, we have discussion before this. And I limated this guy, right? I said, this is not a commercial litigation situation. This guy's has a character, he doesn't belong on the board. I don't give a shit how much money he gives you, I don't care what he's done. You know Jeannie's solid. She's a solid person,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
You're so furious. And they were yelling at me, you're not supposed to talk about this at the meeting. Oh, no, when? We're supposed to be transparent.
Right.
See, look what happened with Jersey City State College or whatever it was. Nobody talked about anything. What happened? They went bankrupt. All the money was gone, right?
Nobody opened their mouth, John.
Yeah. I'm sick of it.
I'm tired of people like this idiot in the back. Yes. Well, you know, she said this to me too. So when I said to them, we'd come in, I was going to have all of you sit on this side and the three of us sit over here. And they said, don't do it. He told me, don't do it. Oh, okay.
Let me tell you, we have, I'm on the parking board.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, we have 400.
Wait, I thought you left. You still on?
Right.
We have over 300 low-income housing, Section 8 and stuff. We're getting on the embankment, Block 1 between Marine Boulevard and Manila. We're getting 604 streets, exactly right, with 172 parking spaces.
But you guys are not affected with parking because most of the residents park inside, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
But we're not even talking residents. I'm not even talking about the parking. Forget the parking. We're good on the parking because they don't really. And one of the things they did say, they said that close to 4 times. This is not tonight. This is that whole one-to-one parking. It's not parking.
And so I hate that they say that.
But you know what? But it doesn't. But to tell you the truth. We'll have parking, but for us, we're worried about all that contamination that's going to come out of that embankment.
But I mean, this bothers me. And when they try to say, oh, it's ADA, it's this.
I already did. I went to City Hall and I had a whole.
Are your apartments ADA? No, we could fix them.
You can get them
Low
put in.
encounters, like who's going to lower the counters for you?
We should have just made it hard.
My grandson works for the city clerk. The lady says, your grandmother is really spicy. She said, yeah, she is spicy.
Did you guys ever find a contractor for I know I'm going back years when Anne Marie was there. Before she was like, oh, Jeff, you should come down here. We're looking for a contract. And I went down there, and it was just a mess.
It's still a mess.
Which case is this?
Serious?
She left it a mess.
So you guys never found a contract?
We do. We have one, but we're trying to repair.
Yeah, so they noticed
We're
an
trying
error,
to
so it's not
repair,
scheduled for tonight.
but only to make it livable
Yes.
for the present, because we want to demolish everything and build.
Okay, because when I was there, they had guys.
Oh, maybe that's from, sorry, maybe that's a different
Same
date.
thing.
So what are we asking? We
Edwin
want
was
to
in
put them on for
charge.
the next
Is he
meeting?
still
We're just saying
Yeah,
that
Edwin's in
there's no hearing for this
And
project.
he was like, I don't know what's wrong with these guys.
Yeah, so
Okay.
So
Why,
I'm going to
you-
say
you
this, so
don't think
anyone
he
who
was doing a good
went to
job?
Jersey,
No, Anne Marie, the way she made it seem, I don't see some of the stuff, and it was just like, who's doing this work?
598 Jersey.
And she was like,
Okay,
we need a
598
contractor,
Jersey.
yada,
Okay, so
yada,
we'll tell them
yada, 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 and I'm like, okay, but then when you go to, do paperwork and.
yeah, it's not, I'll just say it's not being.
That wouldn't be us. We
No,
we
but I
do
think
need people, let's say, people that know how to do, like the plumbing and the electricity and things like that. But what we're trying to do is, since we're trying to demolish everything and just rebuild, because we want to build over 1,000 units on the whole property. But low income working workforce, affordable and maybe market rent, but I get with the affordable is fine.
So you guys been in business for right? You should easily be getting low income tax credit money, affordable housing, trust fund money, and all of that.
Yeah, totally.
I'm confused because
They took, we lost our tax credits. We lost our
When?
pilot.
When?
We lost our, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie lost our pilot, and we're paying.
You can't reapply.
Not, they said we cannot, we tried to reapply, but they said we have to start doing
you're
some,
connected right now?
that we
Yes.
have to do a certain amount of renovations.
Yeah,
And
I know that.
but the thing is that we don't really want to do all that money because we want to, right now we have the embankment is here, and we have 46 families here.
Yep.
We want to demolish those houses so that we can build at least 300 or 400 units, right?
How many units in right there? In that,
All together now,
no, in that section.
The-
On
on the embankment section,
no, on this that Manila. That street where the office, the front office is.
Yeah.
To Marin. What is?
because we have from 2nd to 5th.
I know 2nd to 5th.
So there's like 345 units. Oh,
Okay. So 300. That's from 2nd to 5th.
excuse me.
And it can accommodate a thousand.
It was 3 cars, so
Oh,
the one in the middle had that had to be sold.
Well, right now, we gotta get a market set, we gotta get all this, whenever I see architects, what you see, they had a different site, they had a whole different site, and where they wanted to, I like some of them.
Oh, you mean when they come here, you look at? Oh, okay.
This order, I ordered these bowls, I think cookies were. Look at the cookies I made with my granddad. Well, and now if they have space for parking.
That's good.
I know, that's the first I tried, but we need a
Her
bowl.
time or your time? First time trying. Your first time or her time?
Our first one. Seven. That's my pumpkin. So what happened was that she came in. So when we were doing it, I need bowls. So I ordered a damn bowl and they sent them to the address. And they took a picture and I said, that's nice. And what do you do?
No, they sent a picture of a wooden gate. No wooden gate. Nowhere on my property. There's no wooden gate to my neighbor. Because everybody has PVC gates. And they showing, and I'm telling the lady, man, the neighbor to my right doesn't have a wooden gate. They all have PVC.
I'm gonna go fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like where they left it. They left it.
3 houses up.
Yeah, no. That's what they're saying. They said they left it on my front porch.
Somebody else front porch.
Somebody else, they left so, and it says 170, so it's like you can miss it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna text my daughter to check the. Okay, so we're almost ready.
This is 48 Central Avenue. I guess this is the house that they must have purchased. I assume. This is what, and they must have bought a lot of chases to the so they have a lot to. We can't adjust things. We'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to.
Okay, may I have your attention?
It was up, so I just turned it on.
Here she comes.
Okay, I would like to call this meeting to order again. And just for the record, if there is anyone here who is waiting for us to hear the case of 598 Jersey Avenue, I believe it is, that will not be heard tonight. So if there's anyone here for that individual case, that will not be heard tonight. Okay, Bridget, we're ready to begin, okay? Like I said, we are hearing case Z2024-0001. Again, any speakers will be held to the 3-minute rule. When it gets close to 10 o'clock, we will not begin any other cases. Okay.
Good evening, Chairwoman, and members of the board. I'm Cynthia Hagianis. I'm here tonight representing the applicant, SMVS Jersey City LLC. It's a house of worship that's been operating at 419 Hoboken Avenue since 2003. It's a house of worship that has deep roots in the community, and as you can see, a lot of the community members are here tonight, but I want to assure the board that only 2 of them will be making a public comment, so everyone else is here for moral support. The SMVS is planning to relocate to 48 Central Avenue. It's a corner lot on Central and St. Paul's Avenues, and they're going to build a brand new facility there. So they're really only moving a few blocks from one side of Route 139 to the other side of Route 139. And it's block 5702, lots 5 and 6. It has a lot of frontage along Central Avenue, and as you see on your screen now, and you'll hear from our architect, it's going to be a beautiful new 4-story house of worship, which is a permitted use in the residential neighborhood R1 zone. We are seeking a D6 height variance, front, side, and rear yard setback variances, rooftop appurtenant variances, a parapet variance, a minimum lot coverage variance, and a parking variance. And you'll hear from our architect, Avart Patel, who's been before this board before, and from our planning expert, Mr. Haight, who's already been sworn in this evening. And I believe, I just wanted to mention, we did hold a community meeting at the existing facility. Members of the closest neighborhood group came, and we received only positive feedback from them. So without further ado, I'm going to have our architect come up and present the plans.
You put on the record that you did notice for this. We carried the notices from last time. I don't think we marked them last time, but
Oh, I have the originals here if you want.
probably give that to.
Yes, thank you. Good. newspaper notice and certified mail notices went out for the October 23rd meeting, and it's been carried. And these are the original notices, which have been uploaded and emailed to the planning staff.
One moment. Okay, this will be A1 in evidence for this application.
Okay, thank you.
Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And state your name.
Avart Patel, Aavart, Patel, and I've been in front of the board numerous times before.
Yes, we accept Mr. Patel's.
Okay, and your license is still current?
It is. Thank you. So the current property is located at intersection of Central Avenue and St. Paul's. The lot size, there are two lots which we are going to combine. The total lot size comes out to be about 4,445 square feet. It is a corner lot, and the proposed structure would be fronting the Central Avenue. The main entrance would be on the Central Avenue, and then there is a side loading entrance along St. Paul's, but the frontage would be central. I'm going to quickly walk through the floor plans and then come back to the elevation and go over some of the zoning information. This is page A2 of the set we submitted, which shows the existing two lot with the two structures, and both structures are going to come out. The structure on the corner lot is dilapidated, and it's being they're in the process of demolishing the structure, and then both of them will come out. This is the proposed site plan. As you can see, we are building along the St. Paul and Central Avenue property line, as well as on the side yard as well. We are zero lot line condition. We are notching the building towards the back to give light and air to the adjacent building, which they have a window close to the property line. Going to go through the floor plans. As you can see, the plan on the left is the cellar plan, which will house all the support spaces, mechanical room, sprinkler room, garbage, trash area, some storage, and the bicycle storage. The cellar would be served with two staircases, and an elevator would go down to the cellar level as well. And as you can see here, the cellar is just a partial footprint, and we are keeping setback towards the front, as well as significant setback along the St. Paul's Avenue, and we're just utilizing partial area which is underneath the existing structure, which already has a cellar. So we're trying to utilize the excavated area of the lot and just develop that much footprint for the cellar. The existing cellar of one of the structures.
So we're trying to utilize the excavated area of the lot and just develop that much?
For the proposed cellar. On the right, you can see the first floor plan. The entry foyer is along the Central Avenue. People or congregants will arrive through here. And there's an open lobby with the restrooms located on the left corner. There are typically, temple facilities. Everyone comes in, remove their shoe, and then walk bare feet. So there are shoe areas proposed, in the lobby within the lobby as well. And then the elevator would be placed next to a small reception area. The main hall at this level is the so dining or congregation hall, and then there is a small kitchen space proposed in the back with the side entry, foyer, loading area, and then the second staircase. Going to go to the second floor, which is the main assembly hall, and function-wise, most of the people will come, they will remove their shoes, take the elevator or stair to the assembly level. Usually the assemblies are Sundays, starts around 4 till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. During that time, people would be in the assembly hall, and once the assembly is done, they would go down. There is a offering, like a small snack type of offering after the prayer. They will have that within the dining hall downstairs, and then they will leave. At this level, we have, again, a small foyer when people come up through the elevator or the staircase, a couple of unisex, there's a unisex or a single-use toilet. If someone wants to use it, they don't have to go down. And then a small gift donation area here. Administrative office would be located at this level as well. And towards the back, these are all support spaces as part of the prayer and assembly function. The priest who conducts all the ceremonies, they have a small place here where they can be sitting. It's like a priest office. And then the other offices are support office, like AV, other functions which kind of supports the assembly function, so those are the storage areas for that. This toilet in the back is basically dedicated for the priest conducting the ceremony, and it's a support space, especially for where the god deities are located, and function of the assembly. As you can see, the staircases are flanked the opposite corner. There's a direct access to stair number 1 towards the back, and then the stair 2 would be from the front foyer. That would meet all the egress capacities required for the size of the assembly hall. This hall is about 2,100 square feet, and then the dining space below is about 1,400 square feet. The floor plan on the right is a mezzanine, which is the assembly hall is a double height space just to create a larger volume. And then there are 2 small mezzanines proposed, one towards the front and the other towards the back, which also support offices, for a priest. And usually the male and female, they have a separate, it's a functionally they're separated. So the back space is for the male priest, and then the front would be utilized by any female volunteers and other female members of the congregation. I'm going to quickly go to the top level, which would be the 3rd floor. Technically, there are only 3 levels, mezzanine being in between. That's why the building looks to 4 stories, but there are 3 floors. And this floor will house the classrooms for kids. They do have Sunday school type of functions, so the kids would arrive about an hour and a half before the actual assembly time. And they will go to either a music class, a language class, those kind of classes. And once the assembly starts, everyone would be in the assembly hall. So we are proposing a large multi-purpose hall with a movable partition. It's more like a community hall. And then the student areas or activity classrooms are spread on the perimeter. There are a couple of staff rooms as well here, which would house books and special instruments, let's say music class. So they will have the instruments at these areas, and then they will take it to the individual classroom, because the classrooms are interchangeable. It's not fixed that class 1 would be for music and 2. It can be interchanged based on the use the kids' age group. We do have individual toilets located at this level as well, that would help along with the main toilet facility on the first floor. And we are going to meet all the code requirement for plumbing fixture count, as well as the egress capacities for all 3 levels. Going to quickly go to the roof level. This is housing mainly the rooftop equipment. There is a access hatch towards the back, and then the equipment would be located towards the back corner. And the decorative domes and the cone-shaped shikhar, which is an important element of any Hindu cultural facility, and so that's why we are placing the taller shikhar towards the middle of the building, so that way the height is still there, but it's less perceived from the street level. And the way it works is, the smaller domes has to be in a either 3, 5, 7, that kind of count. Like it can't be even number. It has to be odd number. It can't be even number. So that's why you see the 5 domes and then the main shikhar in the back. I'm going to quickly go through the front elevation. So that's the facade along Central Avenue, the main entry with a taller door, and all the decorative elements visible here are GFRC, glass reinforced cement concrete, and it's exterior grade material, fireproof material, and they would be cladded onto the facade. I mean, the facade would be cladded with this material. They usually manufacture this and then just bring it and bolt it to the facade. And as you can see, the material-wise, the facade will have stone or a tile face, and all the decorative elements would be applied on top. They're not, some of the elements like the columns can stick out about 8 to 9 inches. And then the rest of the elements are pretty flat, like 3 to 4 inches, or like window surrounds and some of the vertical banding. And what we have, the way the footprint of the building is proposed in the front and then along the St. Paul's, we did push the facade back in, so all these elements are within the property line and they're not sticking out beyond the in right of way. Yeah, I mean, overall, it's as I said, it's perceived as a 4 stories, but actually 3 levels with a mezzanine in between. And the parapet, we are proposing a little taller parapet, just to I would say screen the domes a little more. So instead of 42 inch parapet, we are going with like a 6-foot parapet. Going to the side elevation, again, similar treatment. We have a door, a double loading door into that the rear foyer, and then a door coming out of the staircase. And overall, similar treatment, the banding, vertical columns, and then the window surrounds. I'm going to quickly go through the other 2 side elevation. This is the rear elevation. As you can see there on the left side, that's the recessed area for the existing windows on the adjacent structure. And that's the other interior side elevation. These sides would be treated with a light beige or gray stucco type system, fire retardant, and more monolithic.
And what?
Fire retardant and monolithic look. These are some of the renderings. Things did change a little bit towards the back corner, but overall it kind of gives you the what the building will look like. Most of the material we are proposing are beige or pinkish beige, lighter color, whether that's a thin stone or porcelain type material. And then all the decorative stuff would be also a beige, either a beigeish white or beigeish gray, and that would be applied on. And there will be a slight color variation just to kind of accentuate some of the decorative elements. I guess that's about it. I just want to cover one more thing. We did get a recommendation from a planning staff to propose a loading zone, which, as you can see on the, actually, let me go to the site plan. We are proposing towards the back corner where the secondary foyer and then or the loading area is, and that's going to go from between the two curves. St. Paul's is a one-way street, and just across the street we have the school building. So the thought was that it would be beneficial to the facility as well as the school for pickup and drop off. So we are proposing that. If of course we have to go through proper channels, and if City Council approves it, then we'll add it in. But at least as a placeholder, based on the planning staff's recommendation, we did add it to the site plan. I guess that concludes my direct testimony.
What was the last thing you said about the school?
Let me just go there. So directly across St. Paul's, that's the school building. PS6.
Yes, I know. Okay. No, you said something that's why you did it. Because
So planning staff recommended that we create a dedicated loading zone, which would help the school during the pickup and drop off, as well as the facility, especially when they're. I mean, again, the deliveries are done by cars or small or minivan. We are not expecting any large trucks, but there is a dedicated area where during the loading unloading, there's no parking. No one is blocking the entrance. Thank you.
Okay. We'll hold questions till the end.
Mr. Haight?
Leave this up. I might
Oh, yeah, sure.
For the site plan. If you could go back. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. That's okay.
Yes, thank you. Charles Height, last name Heydt. Okay. Good evening again, board members. I've worked on this application since its inception, along with my colleague, Carolyn Worstel. She's not here today with a death in the family, so I'm filling in, but I have been involved with this application. I did review the plans, had extensive conversations with the project architect, Mr. Patel, as well as the applicant in terms of understanding a lot of the function of this proposed house of worship. So I do think that the board should be aware that religious uses are a protected class of uses in the country and the state. There's federal law. We are in a zone that actually does permit houses of worship. So we're not making those general arguments, but I do just want to preface that this, while a permitted use, there aren't a set of bulk standards that are akin to a house of worship that would regulate such a use. And to be quite frankly, it would be difficult to come up with a set of standards because there's no real standard for houses of worship. They come in many different shapes and sizes. Sometimes they're retrofits of existing structures, and then sometimes they're the most beautiful ancient Catholic churches that you cherish. And a large part of some of the history with religious uses are those structures that have some of the historical character are often larger. They're larger than life, actually, when you are in the presence of some of those structures. So just remind yourself that there are a mix of types of houses of worship, and I do think that would be helpful, and that's kind of the basis of my testimony here tonight. First and foremost, the main relief being sought is with respect to the permitted height. What's being requested is 4 stories, 46 feet. I do want to note that really the building functions as a 3-story in terms of intensity. There's a mezzanine level, provides some auxiliary uses, but it really is open to the floor below the main worship floor. So from a functional standpoint, it has the intensity of a 3-story structure. We also do have other bulk requirements that I'll address, but in terms of the building height variance, the R1 zone, again, from a general standard, regulates building height with 3 stories, 35 feet. That's for 1 and 2 family homes and any other permitted use. So with the proposed structure, proposed application, I would offer that the test the board needs to consider, not the D1 standard, but the D6 standard, which comes from the Grasso case, and it really is referencing that there's still a provision of appropriate light and air while also having harmonious characteristics within the overall neighborhood. So I'll walk through a few things that we were considering with the overall application. This is initially 2 lots 5 and 6, that are being consolidated. The overall site is about 4,445 square feet. We did consider other uses in the area in terms of consistency. So first and foremost, from a planning standpoint, we recognize that this is a corner lot of Central and St. Paul's. Typically, on corner lots, you have an opportunity to make what's called a proud corner, an established physical structure on the corner. It's common planning practice. It's why you have some of the most detailed elements of a building at that corner to make it proud and present in terms of the built world. So I do think we've applied that here in this application. We are also in context of school number 6, which is just to the north across St. Paul's on the same side of Central. And by our estimate, that certainly a 4-story structure, approximately 59 feet in total height. 1 block north, and again, this is for the board's consideration in terms of actual physical context. There is a multifamily development that's 5-story structures, approximately 55 feet in height. That structure is in a redevelopment plan unto itself, meaning that one development is within that one redevelopment plan, but same side of the street, 2 blocks north, again, a 5-story structure. We took a little further look at some of the other institutional uses in the area. One St. Nicholas Church, which is a little further north, about a half mile or so, again, on Central Avenue, same side. It's a very substantial structure. It's 65 feet in height, and it has rooftop elements, the bell tower going up to upwards of 140 feet. So I'm offering that to the board in terms of actual context, in terms of other physical developments in the area. I do think when you consider that this isn't a multifamily structure, it is a unique house of worship for a particular denomination of the Hindu cultural community. I do think that it fits in with those other institutional uses as well as some of the other physical development along Central Avenue. So with that, I would say that there's a consistency in terms of overall height for unique uses, being this a house of worship. Most of the other residential uses in this area are 2 stories. So I wouldn't make that comparison. They are mostly along side streets. Again, further south beyond Route 131, you're entering into Journal Square. Your heights in Journal Square are going to be substantially taller. They're the Hudson County complex there that has substantial structures. The county facility is a substantially larger building, but again, that's, I think, a little removed from this neighborhood. But I do think, given that it's a corner property, 4,000 square feet, right across the street from a 4-story school, and then beyond that, a 5-story multifamily, it's an appropriate setting for a 4-story structure. I did want to switch gears to bring up the shadow study that we did. I do think it's helpful in, and I might bounce back and forth between these computers. Give me 1 second. So we did submit this with the overall application. So this is a typical shadow study that we do. I think it gives special focus, especially when we're requesting a D6 building height variance, that we put it in context. So as you can see, we have the facades that Mr. Patel walked through. We also have some aerials on the right, but in terms of the analysis and modeling, we take in existing conditions, massing the blocking, and superimpose the footprint of the proposed structure. So you can kind of see some of the comparisons here on this cover sheet, but the main analysis of this visual impact assessment is to understand the nature of the impacts of the shadows, right? The proposed building will cast shadows, and we want to understand how those shadows might impact adjacent uses. It's always a really strong argument to say that because of this property being located on what is essentially the northwest corner of the block, or in other words, the southeast corner of the intersection, when that sun comes over in sunrise to sunset, the majority of shadows are cast into this right-of-way and intersection. So again, we're taking credit for the location of the property, but I think it is inherent in the overall application, and it does mitigate some of the impact of that additional story. You can kind of see that as we go through the seasons here, as that shadow is cast into the intersection, and then again to the north in the longest shadows in December, it's really cast into the parking lot of the school. So to that extent, we do benefit from the location of the property on the block, and I do think that that mitigates the impact from the additional height. I'm going to switch gears. I think I covered the consistency and the overall design of the building. I should mention that the elements, the dome elements, are very customary to, yes? Yes, we could do that right now, because thank you. I wouldn't want to make you wait till the end. We could walk through them, and if you have any questions or want me to zoom in, just let me know. You just made a planner's dream come true. Again, December is the longest shadows. It's when the sun's lowest. So that's where you have, this is the afternoon. Again, you can see into the street at 12, and then 1 and 2 o'clock is generally your longer shadows, and then you go into kind of dusk hours. But this gray area here, if you can see my screen, this gray area is a parking lot. So both at 2, 1, you're casting shadows into a parking lot, which the intent is to not cast complete shadows into rear yards or over windows, things like that. Is there any date or time of the year that? Yeah, so these are in the earlier months, or the different months. So this is March at 1 p.m. March and September, actually, because they're equinoxes, they have the same length of shadow. And then your shortest shadows are in the summer months, June. And that has obviously minimal shadows cast into the sidewalk. So that's the afternoon setting. I'll move on.
Yes, move on.
Okay. So in terms of some of the other bulk criteria, and thank you for the board for letting me go into detail with the building height, but in terms of the other bulk, sorry, wrong. There we go. Thank you. I was putting it in the wrong place. We do have a couple setback variances that I'll walk the board through. So we do have an irregular frontage. Central Ave comes across at a little bit of an acute angle. So we were discussing this internally, and I think the easiest way is that the architect in terms of the layouts tried to square up the proposed structure, the footprints, and that left what would be a short, on the left, you can see a short front yard on the southern property along Central. We are holding a 0-foot setback along St. Paul's. And we also do have this little bit of a triangle area as you get to the intersection where we can accommodate some additional landscaping because of that acute angle. We are also able to propose the street trees that are there, the four, where there are not any street trees today. So we do have some streetscape improvements with the curb along the property frontage. With the St. Paul's frontage, the front yard requirement, again, is to match the existing front yard setbacks. The predominant setback that we've identified along this frontage is 8 feet, and in most of that serving the front yards for the 1 and 2 family homes on the interior of St. Paul Street or this block. And that front yard is unfortunately primarily used for front yard parking. So it wouldn't really be appropriate for us to propose that. It's not the same type of use. We actually are not proposing any parking on the property. But we did come with a 0-foot front yard setback along St. Paul's, and that's one of the variances. But I think the streetscape improvements do help outweigh. With respect to the overall coverage on the property, in terms of the existing conditions, the property has 2 structures and asphalt parking, which is about 94.3%. It is 94.3%. We're increasing that 0.9% to accommodate this structure. So it is an increase in existing conditions. The R1 zone regulates impervious coverage at 85%. What we did to try and mitigate that increase is to locate green roof systems on the roof of this structure. So there's approximately 2,000 square feet of green roof trays. I think it's an appropriate gesture to try and offset some of the stormwater impacts, and it's an improvement over existing conditions where there's no stormwater system there today. So, stormwater system. Mainly all the stormwater hits the rooftops and asphalt and then runs into the street. So I do think it's an improvement considering we're adding the front yard landscaping as well as the rooftop trays. And really it's only an increase of 0.9%, 1%. So I did want to focus a little bit on the rear yard. So in the rear yard, you can see from the site plan, I shouldn't have done that. How do you zoom in? Sorry. Okay, thank you. So there's a couple aspects with the rear yard. First and foremost, being a corner property, we are applying the rear point requirement, which should be a rectangular area that comes into the property about 20 feet, given the dimensions of the overall property. We are encroaching into that space sufficient to allow for the light and air to be accommodated for the adjacent structure on St. Paul's, where it has 2 existing windows. So if this was a side yard, this would be the more or less required or applied side yard requirement, where you're providing that setback of 3 feet to accommodate existing windows to allow for light and air. It's technically within our rear yard requirement, so it's a rear yard standard. But the other aspect that I think the board should consider is that the intent of the rear yard point is to allow for a notch in the proposed development to let light and air access the interior of the overall block. It's the donut hole concept of the overall block. So in this setting, this structure into the rear yard still allows for the interior of the property to have light and air for all the other rear yards, because this actual building is long enough where the rear yard occurs further south than our subject property. I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch back. I think the study we did, sorry. I just think it's a valid point that the board should consider. So I'm going back to the massing study, and I can pick any one of these dates. It's not so much the shadow, but I want it to be clear that what I was trying to articulate is that this structure that we're requesting relief from in terms of the rear yard is far enough back where their existing rear yard is not encumbered or impacted by the proposed structure. There's still sufficient light and air, in my opinion, that's being offered to the interior of these rear yards. So that's the argument or rationale that I would offer to the board. The last variance that I think the board is going to be weighing upon is the parking variance. Again, the standard requirement here is 1 space per, I think, 1,000 square feet. That calculates out to 11 required spaces. Let me just double check I did that correctly. 1,000 square feet excluding the first 500. So after you get beyond 500, you apply that standard. 11 spaces are required. We're proposing 0. Parking's always an issue, especially in the Heights throughout Jersey City. We did do extensive studies. We did do a traffic impact study that the board has. We also did an analysis on the existing congregants. Between 60 and 70% of the congregants that are being relocated live within, I believe it's 0.3 miles of the overall area. So when we looked at those data points and we understood that 11 spaces, if everyone drove, 11 spaces wouldn't be nearly enough. And the fact that between 60 and 70% lived within a third of a mile and would likely walk on a routine basis, we felt that the right direction to go in would not provide the parking. That being said, there will be peak hours, high holidays. The applicant went as far as to coordinate with the school that's adjacent across the street and secure, parking on those high days, mainly on Sundays. So there'll be upwards of 60 spaces. Not that they'll ever need that many, but that was something that I think is important to note to offset the potential impact for parking in the area. Again, it's a nice kind of shared use, if you will, of that existing parking. The activity at the school is not the same peak demands as the proposed house of worship. So that's the variance needed. I do think in terms of the negative criteria that this application does address a number of different planning aspects. I do think that we're providing a variety of spaces in the city for a variety of uses. That's one of the purposes of planning. So we are a permitted use, but we do need some of the physical relief. I do think that we are also addressing some of the impacts of the proposed development, so there's no impairment of the general welfare. We talked about the massing of the building, the impacts of shadows, the improvements over stormwater, and I do think that's all applicable to reduce that impact on the general welfare. With respect to the zoning ordinance and master plan, I started the application off by saying this is a unique use. Houses of worship don't have a set of standards to help regulate it. So I do think the board should consider that what we're proposing is on balance meeting the intent of zoning. And I always end with thank you for listening to me. I talk a lot for a living, so I appreciate your time. I do. Happy to answer any questions or anything, Cynthia, if I missed anything.
We'll hold out questions till the end.
Thank you very much.
Okay, at this time, we will open it to public comment. Again, all speakers will be held to 3 minutes. Mr. Allen will let you know when you have 1 minute left to speak. So if you would like to make comments, please come up to the mic. We can open the public portion.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your full name, spell it, and provide your address into the public.
Vidhi Patel, VIDHI PATEL, 147 Hopkins Avenue. Good evening, everyone. I want to speak from the heart about what this temple truly means to our neighborhood. The people who attend are not outsiders. They are our neighbors. They are families, seniors, and children who live just blocks away. This place of worship brings so much more than prayers. It brings connection. It gives families a safe place to gather. It teaches children about compassion and respect. And it offers emotional support during life's challenges. In a world where so many people feel isolated, this temple has brought a source of warmth and belonging. Most importantly, it reflects what makes Jersey City special, our diversity, our acceptance of one another, and our ability to live in harmony. Allowing the temple to relocate and continue its mission would preserve this trait. I respectfully urge the chairperson and the board members to grant approval for this application as it represents a meaningful and much-needed contribution to our community. It is essential that we recognize not only the physical impact of this project, but also the profound and lasting good this temple brings and will continue to bring. Thank you sincerely for your time and for listening.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Spell your full name and address.
Vatsal Pandya, VATSAL, last name PANDYA, 159 Beacon Avenue. I get started. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Vatsal Pandya, and I live on 159 Beacon Avenue. I'm here to express my support for this proposal. I serve as one of the youth leaders at the temple, and I want to highlight the impact it has on our younger generation. Every week, we meet with youths in the neighborhood to help them grow, whether it's college prep, interview skills, learning about traditions, or simply teaching the values of unity, family, and community service. These youths are a part of this neighborhood, and the temple provides them a safe, supportive environment to learn and become responsible young adults. Many of them are present today in a show of support. This temple has been a part of our neighborhood for more than 20 years. It's truly a fixture in the community. The temple has consistently been responsible and a considerate neighbor. This property is well maintained, and the congregation has always shown respect for the surrounding community. Their presence adds stability, culture, and a strong sense of togetherness to our neighborhood. I respectfully ask the board to approve this proposal. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the community who would like to say something?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Your full name is spelled out.
My full name is Indravardhan
You're
Patel.
going to have to speak up.
My full name is Indravardhan Patel, INDRAVADAN, Patel, PATEL Patel, 139 Ladlow Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. Mhm. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Patel. I just have a few blocks from the temple. I want to share what I personally see as neighbor. This temple is peaceful part of our community. And not only this temple, our Pope from India, we have like North America, we have like 8 to 9 center of the temple, and our Pope come every year, summertime. They help the community about the prayers, worship, and everything. They teach us how's morality, family get together, peaceful life, and it's weekly gathering or small, quiet, and filled with local families who walk to the building for nearby homes. These are neighbors, people we already know and see every day. And the attendants are local residents. Cares are not the primary make of transportation. Local residents' care are not the primary mode of transportation. It truly functions. Primary mode of transportation is walking distance. Yeah. Yes. It's truly function like a neighborhood place of worship, not a regional center drawing large crowds. What I appreciate most is the respectful and caring nature of the congregation. They are considerate of their surroundings. They keep their property well maintained, and they contribute positively of the almost of our block. I myself live in this neighborhood almost 40 years, and since 23 years I go to this place for worship morning and night. And every morning I see a lot of other community, not only Indian community, but I see other American people come to the temple and sit down for a couple of minutes, pray, and we enjoy their things. Approving this application would simply allow them to continue their quiet, community-oriented activities. I fully support the request and kindly ask the board to grant the approval, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Just a quick announcement. If anyone here has a blue Nissan Rogue, license plate C46LPK that's parked in the EV space, please move that vehicle. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other members of the community who would like to make any comment? Okay. If not, then I will close out the public portion of this meeting. And I will ask our commissioners if we have any comments or questions that you might have for anyone that spoke tonight.
I have a couple of questions. My first one is, I love the design. I think it's beautiful, and I really applaud you because I know this is going to serve your community. My only misgiving is the fact that you're not going to have any parking, and so many people come in front of us on Central Avenue that live on Central Avenue, and they tell us, please don't approve this because there's no parking on Central Avenue. So that's a big concern for me. And you have a huge lot. I mean, this is a beautiful lot. I'm just wondering how come you can't put that 11 parking space or whatever parking space you can possibly fit in there. Is that a thought or something that we can do or what?
We did consider that. And again, fitting 11 spots onto the lot with egress, ingress was difficult because there are standards that the access to the lot or the driveway has to be certain distance from the corner because this is a corner lot. So we had to maintain certain distances and whatnot and setback requirements, which were not working out for all 11 cars. They do have an agreement with the school facility that they can use their parking lot because most of the services are on Sundays, and Sunday there's no school in session. So we do have a letter from a school board with that agreement, and if required, they would be utilizing that, which is directly across the street.
Who will be there to keep that school, the lot open? Is it maintenance, the school maintenance people?
I'll have.
I would love to, I mean, with all due respect, I would like to see that because over the years, I have known other buildings have come forward, other people in different communities have asked the schools, and I know, as a former employee, those lots were locked and shut tight on weekends and whatnot, and they were not allowing anyone to use the lots because of the security for the buildings. So I would like to, I mean, I'm not discounting that you said or saying that you are misinformed or you're making this up, but
We'll see. I want to see that.
yeah. Can I see that? Yeah.
Do we have it? Yes, why don't we do that first and then show it to the chair?
I'd like to know what's.
Okay, so we have two letters from the Jersey City Public Schools. One is from March 2024 and one is July 10, 2025.
Okay.
And who has signed those letters?
Well, we'll see it.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Jeffrey Henderson, the Executive Director of Facilities. Oh, one is signed by Henry Bednarski, the Director of Custodial Services.
That's up to her then. Let her deal with that. If you, Who's going to pay for the overtime?
I do want to. Oh, sorry.
So the letter dated March 18th, 2024, from Henry Bednarski, the Director of Custodial Services, has been marked A2, and the letter from Jerry Henderson, Executive Director of Facilities, dated July 10, 2025, is marked A3.
Yeah, or you want us to just look at it? We could look at it.
If you want me to read it,
Yeah. That's okay. You have one. Thank you so much. You wanna? You don't care. See that? Yeah. Application and the outline about the different neighborhood. Pursuant to the district policy on rental of the building. Six a.m. to 6 a.m. That's the whole day.
No, 4 days. The 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4 days.
Oh, at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
The
The
second.
second.
50 days per day, 5 days. It's 250. Check for the facility should be made payable to the schools and do it. City requested that we serve for your event.
5-day use and have to pay all this other kind of stuff is $50.
$50 per day.
Yeah, and it's for, they have to put this in every single time. And tentatively reserve your event for a period of 5 business days, meaning that if it changes,
let the record reflect.
Okay.
Marked in as A1. And,
Yeah, they have to apply, it's the same thing.
excuse me. Oh, these are the previous, okay.
This is only 8/2, 25 to 8/6.
Okay, thank you.
5 days.
This is going to be right before Sunday.
Every Sunday it's saying on this one, 5 days it then goes to say. Right. Okay. This says, as I read this, it was only for 8/2/25 to 8/6/25, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. This has to be renewed constantly every time they want to use the lot. This is not saying that that lot is open to them to use at any given time. They have to reapply every single time they want to use this lot.
Yeah, well, the idea was it's only for Sundays. It's not,
I
it's not all the
right,
time.
right.
Yeah. And yes, you're correct in saying that it would have to be
Yeah.
renewed periodically.
Every 5 days. They can. It's good only from 8/2 to 8/6, and it says on here specifically for the 5 days.
Well, I think it may have been for a current event at the existing
Right.
temple.
Right.
The March 18th letter is saying it's from March 24th to June 30th, Sunday parking only.
And that's 2024.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously the facility hasn't been constructed yet, so when the time comes,
Right.
we'll make the arrangement.
I can't hear you, Ben.
I'm sorry. I said, let's put it this way. In order to get over this hump with the board, so what if we make it a condition that they give to
Yeah.
staff a letter from this Board of Ed saying they can park there Sundays? You think you can get that?
Let me
This
just
gentleman
confer with
seems-
my client for a
Okay.
moment.
Yes. Or whatever, if they need it, I don't know, you need another
Yeah, they
day?
should. I mean,
Yeah.
the city should allow it. Come on.
Yeah. Don't s-
The schools don't allow it.
Why?
Because people are not out.
They take a lot of our money. They should let them do it.
It's the problem, somebody gets hurt. What if somebody breaks into the building? They usually have to sign a security.
Yeah, they'll probably sign a waiver or something.
They have to put the insurance on the parking
Yeah.
lot.
Right,
then.
but only $50 an hour is not going to cover.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's fine. They will get the letter for Sundays and for any
Special
I guess-
event, so to
Exactly,
speak.
yes.
Just a letter that states that they will be permitted to park there per the conditions of the Board of Education for any special events and Sundays. So this way we know that it's for the entire year and it's not,
Right,
just one
right.
occasion or two, because one is for 5 days, one is for
Yeah.
Sundays for a couple of months, so
Yeah,
it's.
I have to confess, I hadn't seen the second letter, and I think it was for something happening at their current
Right,
location right now.
But that doesn't say that they can park there all the time. Because I know these lots have been locked and no one's been allowed in them, so.
Well, they are able to get permission to use it now periodically.
Right. Unless Mr. Hygienist has something else that he knows about
Can
that we don't know.
I can't, would it be okay to have the operations person from the temple come to answer? So, Father- okay, could you swear in our, the director?
Raise your right
Yeah.
hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State and spell your full name and provide your address.
My first name is Falgun, Falgun, and last name is Soni, Soni, and I'm living in 102 Bunch Mill Road, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 08003. Yeah.
What was the question?
When was the last time you were permitted to use the lot?
In the month of August.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
2025. Yeah.
But you're going to request, once the building is built, to use it all the time so that it's not interfering with the parking on the street?
Absolutely, yes. So we will request as and when needed, and we will definitely ask to the school board to get that particular approval
Okay.
for the use that particular parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a quick question. Where is your congregation meeting now?
Right now,
Park now, I'm sorry. Park. Most of them walk?
everyone is walking. We don't have the parking at the current temple even.
so everyone is walking most of the time they are walking. And in the event of they have to park or something, they use the street parking. But again, like as I said, like 90% of the congregations listed is within 0.3 mile radius or half a mile radius. So everyone is walking to the temple right
Okay.
now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So just another question. So
Yes.
technically, you will be asking the school to allow you to use the parking lot every Sunday?
Every Sunday, but not all the time. Our assembly meetings are between 3 to 7 actually. Actually, technically it's 5 to 7, but we will ask for like 1 hour prior and 1 hour after. So that's the reason we will ask for that. But again, like our special events are only 4 or 5, the major events. Then we might require that particular parking lot. Other than that, right now, even we are doing this particular our services and everything, we never require the parking right now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are using this particular temple since 2003,
Yes,
last
I wrote that down.
22
That's
years,
great.
and
Mhm.
we never had that particular issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have? I have one more question. I know that my colleagues were not, especially interested in the shadow studies, but there was one slide that for the building next door, you only showed one slide from a December that showed that there was not getting any shadow in their backyard, but you went quickly through. What about the other slides? Do you have anything else that shows anything like that?
It's going to be all in the same direction. There's no shadow cast because of the fact that the building's on the north side of the block.
So there's nothing cast on the rest
Everything's
of it?
north of it.
Okay.
Okay.
You could go up a month from today. Check it out.
I have one question.
Yes,
So
please.
it's a minor question. It's for the architect. On the drawings, you showed the roof hatch, but there also was a door. Is there a door in the? Excuse me. Is there a roof hatch and the door was a mistake, or there's a door and a roof hatch on the roof?
No, there is no door. There's no bulkhead going up.
Okay, because it had a door like a little bit.
I should not say yes, but let me just.
Let's pull it up.
Yeah, there is. It's 2 plans side by side. That may be the confusing part, but oh yeah, that's a screen. The equipment screen has a door to access that area. But let me just pull up.
Okay, so I understand. You come up the roof hatch and then walk around, and the equipment is screened in.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say
That's the
sca-
access
okay,
for the
alrighty.
the screen area.
Okay.
Okay, if we have no further questions, I would like to hear from the staff.
Certainly, Chair Coyle. So staff had a chance to review with the applicant. Staff is generally satisfied with Mr. Height's testimony as substantiating both the positive and negative criteria for the variances. In staff's report dated October 20th, there were 6 recommended conditions, including standard boilerplate conditions such as testimony given by the applicant, the expert witnesses will be binding, addressing by review agent comments, all materials and color selections on final plans, affidavit, street trees, as well as that the applicant concur with the construction process, collaborate with and support efforts by the Department of Infrastructure and City Council to designate an on-street loading zone in St. Paul's. Apologies, Brisset. Support efforts by the Department of Infrastructure and City Council to designate an on-street loading zone on St. Paul's. This is especially important given the presence of a bus stop on the Central Avenue frontage. And one of the biggest potential impacts was, if you have vehicles stopping to drop off supplies or let off passengers fouling that bus stop, that's obviously a problem. And so, in addition to this cooperation to create a loading zone, Mr. Patel added a service entrance on the St. Paul's side that leads directly to the kitchen. So when they're taking their deliveries for materials for offerings and other temple activities, that can be done on the St. Paul's side. Additionally, and I want to make sure we get the wording of this correct, so it sounds like it's the intent of the board to impose a seventh condition related to the securing of permission from the Board of Education of Jersey City for the temple to have a shared parking agreement for use during Sundays
And special
and
events.
special events,
Special events.
at PS6. Is that correct?
That's correct.
With that being said, staff recommends approval with conditions.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions from the commissioners? Okay.
I just wanted to know my client agrees to all of the conditions.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, I am asking for a motion to vote with conditions.
I'd like to put a motion forward to approve case number Z2024-001 for 48 Central Avenue, along with all the conditions that were agreed upon.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay.
All right. Vice Chair Ruho,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yeah, this is a beautiful building with beautiful architect.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
and Chair Coyle.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Congratulations.
Okay, Bridget, do you need another break before we go to our next one? Okay.
No,
Thank you. Take care.
Maybe they could put on the shadow show.
I'm gonna get you, you know that, right?
What?
You say something and I become hysterical, I cannot stop. And I just
You're very reserved, though, you know? You're very professional, you know, I have to say. I admire your
One
style.
There's nothing like a good shadow study. That makes the day.
It's on.
Good luck to you. Good luck. Good luck to this
Good
little boy.
luck, guys. Better than those shadow studies in Newark Avenue, right?
You take care. Good luck. Well,
Where are you from? Gujarat. Well, these are all from Gujarat. I was in Gujarat. Yeah. I was there back in the early 2000s. I went to India. Well, I buy a lot of product from India, monuments, tombstones, granite. So I went with one of my suppliers. I was there for almost 3 weeks.
oh, we'll all be blessed. That's good.
We will be blessed. This is good.
There's only
Karma.
I have. There's just one question too many from here. Come on, let's go. You know that school, right? You're gonna get parking. Plus, you can park on the street on Sundays.
And then there's other businesses up on 139 there. And there's a 7-Eleven across the street.
That's
That's
right.
probably owned by one of the,
You know,
the PS6, right?
yes, right next to. Yeah.
You all got to work together. You all got to work together. No matter who you are, you know.
Yeah.
The Catholic schools, they always had a parking lot. Because they had a courtyard for the kids.
Sunday afternoon, you know, not bad.
Oh, come on. It's a great project. Good for the community.
Feed a lot of people. Feed a lot of people.
Do they?
It's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Well, we
How
did
we
one
doing?
positive thing today. The one before it, I wasn't too positive on.
I was not, but
I don't know what we got coming. I don't know what we got coming now.
What do you think, Bridge?
Maybe that thing will fall off the freaking side of the hill and into the tracks.
Too many units. Close.
That's karma. Things have a way of working their way out. Ooh, Jesus.
It's all recorded. Yes, I don't know.
Forget about
Karma.
it. You know what amazes me? Vin,
There's no parking at the current site, right? Yeah.
No, I'm glad. I was like, because I feel like so many times I'm on the objective side and it's like, I hope there's no like.
Okay, Bridget, are we ready? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Our next case is Z2025-0062, 63 Hutton Street.
I'm gonna ask for a shadow.
Good.
I
The
wanted to.
18th. Thank you. Yes. Good evening again, everyone. Michael Higgins, Castano Quigley Cherami. I do have the original notices here.
And that's A1 in evidence for this application.
So, Mr. Higgins, so we're clear. Looked at your notices, and they comply, your affidavit, proof of service, notice of publication. You got the A-team there, I guess, with Mr. Will there, huh? Very nice. So we recognize your architect. His license is in good standing, we know. So let's get forward. Go.
Okay. If we could have Will sworn in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State and spell your full name.
Sure, it's William Weckenman, last name Weckenmann. Okay. Thank you. I will be brief this evening. This is a very simple application from an architectural standpoint. The address is 63 Hutton Street. It's on the corner of Hutton and Hancock. It's an existing three-story frame building with a commercial space on the ground floor. The project tonight is for the renovation of the first floor commercial space. So it's a renovation and it's a subdivision to create two commercial spaces.
So wait, so that's all we're talking about?
That's it.
So we're taking one commercial spot, making it two, and therefore it's an expansion of a non-conforming use? Is that the idea?
I believe so. I will have Mike.
That is correct. We have a D2 expansion of a non-conforming use.
We're not expanding it out, up, nowhere. We're just splitting it in half.
No, correct, Will?
That's correct.
No.
And-
Opening a door.
And new, yes, we're providing a new entrance, and we're redoing the storefront and the awning on the Hancock side. So I will just quickly. So this is the. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, okay.
I have no control. You do.
Okay. So this is the existing floor plan here on the top. And basically what we're doing is closing up this wall here that divides the main retail space from the back of house spaces. And we're adding a bathroom and making this a second tenant space. As I said, we're doing a new awning, a new storefront on the corner, and then we're providing a second entrance here on Hancock, and we're also replacing and rehabbing the residential entry door here. That is really the extent of the project. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Is there anyone else presenting?
We do have a professional planner.
Okay.
This is much more brief.
You're cleaning up tonight, buddy.
I'm filling in. I don't work alone, believe me. Proud to have a group of planners on my end. Charles Hype, for the record, last name is.
Still under oath, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, we do have technical variance. It's planners think too much, I think, sometimes. And in theory, the subdivision creates a second commercial use where on this property there's no other commercial use on another corner. So because of that reality, that's a technical variance, and we've identified it as a D2 because it's an expansion on this property with the second commercial use. So I do agree with Mr. Weckerman that the proposed storefront improvements are designed to be consistent with some of the historical aspects of this building, the historical nature of the ground floor commercial use, going back to the tax card. For my tax card, from I think. Give me 1 second. It was 1938, so the city maintains tax records, and some of the older ones have these really nice black and white photos, so you can get an idea as to what the architecture of the building looked like. We use those to kind of create the designs. That's what we've done here, increasing glass, decreasing bulkhead height, new awnings. I think it does provide some benefit and does mitigate the expansion, which is the justification that the board needs to consider. Does the expansion of a non-conforming use, are you doing anything to make it more consistent with the neighborhood? And given that it's an existing commercial use and the proposed improvements, I think we are making it more consistent. I do think we're advancing the municipal land use law. Purpose I in this application, the desirable visual environment with the improvements. I don't see any impacts to the general welfare on the negative criteria side. It's an existing commercial use today. There's no changes to the streetscape, nothing of that sort. I think it's consistent with the R1, which permits commercial at corners. It just so happens there's no other existing commercial property or commercial corner elsewhere, so we need the relief. That was 2 minutes.
Thank you. Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's, I do then, so we have anyone from the public? No one's from the public, okay. Staff, Ben?
Staff agrees with the testimony provided by the applicant and finds that the proposal would further the land use element goals of strengthening neighborhood-oriented commercial areas and promoting the development of a diversified economy. Staff recommends approval, provided that the applicant agrees to the conditions laid out in the staff memo dated 11/18/2025.
Those are fine.
All right, staff recommends approval.
Okay. Commissioners, do we have any questions? Okay, I do have one question. So you're not changing anything, but I see where there is this piping or is it a wire for conduit right outside the building on the side, not on the Hutton Street side, but on the Hancock Street? Is that added or is that there already? That's existing?
Yeah, that's existing.
Okay.
And will remain.
Okay, fine.
Where's
Uh,
that?
one-
What's it? You got an image of the tax card?
Shadows and tax cards.
Charles brought it up.
See, I didn't ask for shadows. She got it this time.
There is a photo in the staff report. I have a copy of it right here. Suppose I could just pass it around.
Just give it to Mr. Burns.
Where's the fire escape?
In the back.
You gotta put it back up.
I think it's in the back of the building, the fire escape now. Yeah, the fire escape is in the back, the rear.
Oh, on the front, yeah, that's.
Okay.
So,
Mr.
so this is a simple question. Since the space is being split, is their meter going to be at utilities going to be separated, or still going to be one considered as one commercial space?
They will likely be split or sub-metered in some
Okay.
capacity.
Yeah, okay.
So we will be doing electrical, plumbing, and HVAC upgrades to
Okay.
the space as well. So that'll all be part of the construction drawings.
And what are the businesses? One's going to be existing, and what's the new one going in?
They're both new. We don't have tenants yet.
Okay.
So
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Please take, that's right, I have to say that. Okay, so at this time, I'm asking for a motion to vote on, the other side. Case Z2025-0062. Can I get a motion?
What is that?
Madam Chair, I'd like
I
to.
know it's my phone.
It's your alarm.
Okay,
It's
go ahead.
what?
Shadow study's ready.
I don't know what that is. Okay, I got that. I did that, it's already off. It's already off.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve case Z2025.
These things go crazy.
-0062 as presented to the board this evening with conditions.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, Vice Chair Arujo,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns, and Chair Coyle.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Take care.
You have a nice family there, you know? Most of this stuff would have been on the back, you know? It would have been, that's the truth, right? Nobody-
Okay, so at this time, we have some other business that we have to take care of as commissioners, okay? So next is review and discussion of the 2026 zoning board meeting calendar. I believe, was that shared with everyone?
Yes, and Vinny also has a copy.
Okay.
There's only one copy here. Want me to pass it?
Oh,
around?
sorry.
We get it emailed to us, I guess we did,
Yes.
did we?
Yes, it was emailed to
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're too busy to look at it.
But you know what, I just have to say this, I'm not certain if everyone got it. I saw that it was sent back to either you or Iris and me. That it was sent to me for approval, and I said yes. And then either you or had not responded, then you did respond, and I think that's what's here tonight. I'm not certain everybody received a copy of it.
Also, if you have access to the agenda, it's also linked in the agenda in front of you.
Okay.
It was linked to the agenda.
Yes.
You're right, it was linked to the agenda. Okay. So what do we need to do, vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion
We can
to
always,
approve the calendar.
I need to ask for a motion on that? Oh, or you're just gonna take roll call? I mean, you're just
Tell me
gonna,
what to do.
Yes. We could vote on it right now.
without a motion?
Actually, to be safe, let's do a motion and
Okay, then, fine, can I get a, I'm asking for a motion to vote on the zoning board meeting calendar for 2026.
I make a motion to approve the zoning board calendar for the calendar year 2026.
Can I get a second? Okay.
Okay. Vice Chair Ruel,
Vice Chair Arujo?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry, it's the same person that.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Handle them.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
and Chair Coyle.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. Our next order of business is renewing our board attorney contract.
Oh, I don't think we should do it.
I don't think so either.
Don't take all this down, Bridget, as we talk like this now. I don't agree with that. I think the new guy, Patrick Patel.
It's being recorded.
should be- It is being, oh. Okay. So I am asking for a motion to vote on renewal of the contract for Vince LaPaglia. Can I get a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to renew the board's attorney, Vinnie LaPaglia, term for, I don't know, how many?
Another year.
Another term.
Another year.
Another year.
We don't,
Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay.
All right, Vice Chair Arujo,
yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
and Chair Coyle.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, our next order of business is a contract for our court stenographer, or however, reporting, Bridget, and I guess whatever. Is there a company that I'm supposed to be saying here? I don't have it, just for the.
Precision.
Oh, that is it, Precision Reporting, okay. So can I get a motion I'm asking for a motion to vote on a renewal of the Precision Reporting contract.
I make a motion to renew the contract with Precision for another year.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, Vice Chair Arujo,
Yes.
Commissioner Allen,
Yes.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner D'Angelo,
Yes.
Commissioner Patel,
Yes.
Commissioner Burns,
Yes.
and Chair Coyle.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. Our next order of business is memorialization of resolutions.
Yes, okay, so, the first resolution to memorialize, the applicant is Paul Amatuzzo and Gary Westby Gibson. That was an appeal from the administrative officer's determination. The address was 85 Sherman Place. The case number was Z 2025-0056. Now, if you remember that was a vote on a motion to approve the appeal, which failed, and thereby it denied the appeal and it affirmed the zoning officer's decision. That evening, present were Chair Coyle, Vice Chair Arroyo, Commissioners Shadid, Burns, Barron, D'Angelo, and Allen. And the motion failed. So meaning that the appeal was denied and the zoning officer was upheld. All in favor of memorializing that?
Aye.
Aye.
And now we had the reverse. The next case is Z 240 Realty LLC. That was 250 Newark Avenue. The case was Z 2025-0060. That was heard September 25th. That was a vote on a motion to deny the appeal, and that carried. Therefore, they affirmed the zoning officer's decision. The vote was 5 in favor, 1 opposed. The 1 opposed was Commissioner Allen. Also present, voting yes, was Chair Coyle, Vice Chair Arroyo, Commissioners Shadid, D'Angelo, Allen, and Zablicki. All in favor of memorializing that?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next resolution to memorialize is Z 2025-0065. The applicant was David Abeskaron. That was a C variance. The address was 117 North Street. That was heard October 9th of this year. There were, the commissioners present were Acting Chair Allen, and then Commissioners Barron, Shadid, D'Angelo, and Patel. That motion to approve the application was 5 in favor, none opposed. All in favor of memorializing that?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next case was heard on October 23rd. That was DeKalb 5 LLC, case Z 2024-0076. The address was 30 DeKalb Avenue. Again, that was heard October 23rd. Present were Chair Coyle, Vice Chair Arroyo, Barron, Shadid, D'Angelo, and Zablicki. And that application passed 5 in favor and 1 opposed. The 1 opposed was Chair Coyle. All in favor of memorializing that?
Aye.
Aye. And the next case was heard the same day, same commissioners, except this time, I think same commissioners. And that case is Z 2025 0047. It was 162 Summit Avenue, JC LLC. It was a C variance for 162 Summit Avenue. I mentioned who was there on October 23rd. That application passed 5 in favor, none opposed. All in favor of memorializing that?
Aye.
Aye. So I think that concludes it.
That concludes our business.
That
Okay.
concludes our business. yes.
Okay, I would like to make a motion then to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Yes.